Welcome, you are watching third presentation of Shar Pei Symposium 2023. In the third lecture, there was a change of speaker almost at the last minute. However, this change opened a window of opportunity that brought a great solution. We are glad that today we have as a lecturer a legend of the Shar Pei breeding, gorgeous Gayle Gussin Gold Creasman, who is breeder, exhibitor, and honorable judge from US. Gayle is also member of Standard Committee and Judges Education Committee. She has been with the breed since its very beginnings and has huge experience with the breed. She is absolutely knowledgeable about the topic of the third lecture, anatomy from the point of view of the most common mistakes when judging the Shar Pei breed. Enjoy.
That was very nice. Yes, I have been breeding Shar Pei since the late 70s, mid 70s. I have seen the breed evolve from, well, when I started looking, there were 40 in the country, in the US. And I have seen it evolve and many changes. But the one thing, go ahead to the first slide if you would. The one thing that I have to say is that this breed is very unique in how it looks and needs to be seen that way. My first lesson when judging was that if the dog came around the corner, would I know what it was immediately from the head, from the body? And type is very important in the breed. It should not be overdone. It is a moderate breed in all respects. And we could do the next slide, please. That tells you about me, that I'm still in love with the breed. There's nothing quite like it. And Pierre told you basically my background. So let's go to the next slide, please. General appearance. It is a moderate dog. Top line is very important. Chest, forequarter, hindquarter, tail, and head all make up the dog. The top line really pulls it all together. Can we go to the next slide, please? This dog is, in general appearance, it's very compact and it is squarely built. It's medium. It is not overdone. It is not exaggerated in any way, shape, or form. Most of you should understand what a square dog is. The point of the shoulder to the point of the buttock. And especially a male should look like a male and a female should look like a female. If you look at the picture of this, in my estimation, this is one of the finest top lines I have seen in a long time. We've lost that in that a lot of judges do not realize that it is not a level top line. It should not be a level top line. And the tail should be set high on and not drop at the croup. So you should be able to see that the anus is tilted up towards the sky. This to me is one of the prettiest top lines I've seen. Let's go to the next dog. And as you can see from these, there's a slight drop behind the withers with a rise to a flat, broad loin and the tail set high on. Both of these are correct. My preference would be the first picture that we saw, but both of these are correct in that they're not level and they are balanced. Let's go to the next slide, please. The chest and forechest, as you can see, broad, deep. The brisket reaches to the elbow. It rises slightly under the loin. There is no exaggeration. There should not be exaggeration. It is when you put your arms around when judging, you should have that broad chest and a deep brisket. And it's not overly done. It's not underly done. I can only stress that this is a moderate breed. It is not big boned, heavy, flabby. We can go to the next slide. You can see from this moderate angulation and everything in this breed. The front, the rear, the shoulders, there should be good layback. It should be at a 45-degree angle approximately, but you don't want it too straight so that it is, so word I want to use, it is not able to freely move. The biggest problem we'll see is short upper arms that will not clear the chest. So you won't be able to see a dog that can move in a line tending to converge on a single track. They tend to converge, they do not single track. And you can see from the other breeds, you can look at the angles and you can see how these dogs tend to have a nice angulation in the top, and then it allows the movement to be much more free. There are different breeds in this to show you. You don't want straight angulation, and those of you who breed will understand that. Let's go to the next slide. Forequarters, they should be straight, moderate length, good bone, good set elbows. You don't want elbows in or out. Well laid back shoulders that slope, and your pastern should be slightly sloping, strong and flexible. You do not want cat feet. You do not want them down on the pasterns. They should be up on those feet. The upper arm equal or slightly shorter than the shoulder blade. And it's overall, again, it is a moderate breed. This dog actually has beautiful shoulders in the picture on the right. So if you look at it, you can see it. You don't even have to feel it. You can see it without touching it. We can go to the next slide. Forequarters. You can see the incorrect, the hock should be well let down. It should come underneath the dog in a straight line. There should be angulation. You will find in Shar Pei that most of them have straight rear angulation that does not allow the dog to move freely. And when it is too long of a hock, it will cause the dog to move in the way of if you can think about a train and how it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. There was a period in the breed where we saw a lot of that because of the length of the hock. The hock should be well let down with some angulation, again, moderate, not over-angulated, not under-angulated. I want to say it just should be moderate in all aspects. That's the best way I can describe it. There should not be excess skin that will inhibit the movement of the dog. You will have the skin on the body and on the head and neck, but it should not be overdone and hanging. And we can go to the next one. As you can see, the angulation is not overdone, especially in the dog, the Shar Pei that is standing there. It is slight angulation, well let down hock. I'm not going to go into the angles specifically in degrees. Moderate feet, no splayed toes, and hind feet should be free from dew claws. Next slide. Again, we are looking at actually really fairly nice hocks. There is the dog on the right has a bit more angulation than some of them, but is very well set in terms of the tail set, as are all of these. They are much better than you will see a good portion of the time. Tail set is really important because it carries the whole top line and makes it look the way it should look. And we can go on to the next one. As you can see from these are incorrect hocks. They are straight. They don't sit properly, nor do nor does the leg come into the way it should to the rest of the body. And though you can't see the tail set, my guess would be that it drops at the croup, and it should not do that. The dogs will not move correctly with this. And we can go to the next one. These are all dogs moving. They are free. They should be moved at a natural pace, not at a trot. As you can see from the middle slide, she holds her top line, and I can tell that this is a bitch from the way that she is proportioned and her femininity. You should be able to tell a male from a bitch by looking at them. The dog on the right is definitely a male. The one on the left could be either or, but it appears to be a bitch. She is a little heavier boned than the middle one. The middle dog is my ideal of a well-moving bitch and a well-moving dog overall. She can extend the legs, both front and back. Again, length of neck, the way it goes into the back, how the dip is still being held without being exaggerated. Let's go to the next one. All right, this has become an issue for a lot of people that don't understand tails. Any tail that comes over the back in any way, whether it be curled tightly, curled loosely, curled slightly, is acceptable, and it should come to a tapered point. If it's blunted and it looks short, it probably is short, but do not pull the tails down to look. You should be able to tell just by looking at them. The bitch on the right, I know a lot of people are going to look at it and not like it, but that is okay. It is an acceptable tail. Let's go to the next one, because on the next slide, you can see all the differences. And the tail on the right is a tail that is incomplete. We don't know if this is genetic or not, but some of them were born with no tails. The early dogs that came in to the country, a lot of them had no tails. This dog, I do not know, but it was born. We do not breed it. We do not accept it. You should not judge it correctly. You should leave it out of your placements. It is a major fault. Actually, it is a disqualification in the States. But the other tails are very acceptable. However, they don't sit well on the body. If you look at them, especially the second one from the left, you can see it drops at the croup, causing the whole dog's outline to be wrong. The second dog on the right has a level top line, as does the middle dog. And I can see that just from these pictures, even though you cannot see the complete top line. We can go to the next slide. Head. Both these heads are really nice heads with really nice eyes. The length of the nose to the stop is approximately equal to the length of the stop to the occiput. It is not a defined, definite stop that comes down And then you get the rest of the muzzle. It's slightly large, but not overly. And it has a broad skull, flat, and a moderately defined muzzle. The ears set high on the head. I know that we've got more about ears, but they should be high on the head, and the curl is caused, and this is just a fact of puppy age. The cartilage in the ears don't form until later, and as the wrinkles come in, the ears form inside of the wrinkle, and that's why you have the curl. Next slide. These show you the correct ear set, the eyes, and the lines of the head. These are all very nice heads. You do not want a snipey muzzle. You do not want an overdone head that's goopy and hangs down, that the wrinkles are so profuse, you can't see anything. Each one of these heads is very acceptable. This is not necessarily a head breed, and you should be looking for an overdone. And my best way to describe it is a English bulldog. We do not want that type of head, nor do we want them to be less than. It should be moderate in every aspect. We can go to the next one. This is one of the most unique top lines in the world of dogs. It really is. You, when judging and when breeding, don't lose the essence of this breed. The correct angulation and no excessive skin are part of the breed. And the top line is probably the one thing when I judge, I can look across the ring, and the best explanation I can give you is I did a judging assignment of our national specialty, and there were 150 specials in the ring. As I was going through and eliminating dogs, and I looked at my final cut of 20, everyone had the top line that I was looking for. Unbeknownst to me, as I was doing it, and it's just ingrained. Please, please, when you're breeding, remember what the top line is. It is the uniqueness and the essence of the breed. It's not a Shar Pei if it doesn't look like a Shar Pei. That's the best thing I can say at this point.